All right, today we're going to look at something really fascinating. It's a method for studying one of the world's most influential texts, but with a modern twist. The idea is to combine ancient scripture with AI to understand the Quran by using only the Quran itself. Sounds kind of wild, right? Let's dive in. So, here's the big question, right? How on earth do you even begin to understand a text that's over 1400 years old? I mean, we're separated by so much culture, language, just time itself. Well, the method we're looking at today proposes a really direct answer. And the cool part? It claims that answer comes from the book itself. This specific verse is kind of the starting pistol for this whole idea. It suggests two massive things. First, that the main way to study is through what's called tadabbur, deep contemplation. And second, that the text's defining feature is its own internal consistency. You see where this is going? This core idea, that the book is basically designed to be consistent and self-explanatory, is the foundation for everything we're exploring. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with what the Quran actually claims about itself. Then we'll check out the role of the AI research assistant. After that, we'll break down the 6 core principles, see how to actually put them into practice, and finally, we'll talk about the ultimate goal of all this study. First up, what does the Quran say about itself? You know, the logic of this whole approach is pretty simple. It's about taking the text's own claims about its nature seriously. So instead of bringing a bunch of outside theories to the book, this method starts by asking, what does the book say about how it should be read? So the source material we're looking at points to these specific claims. It says it's free from contradictions, that different parts actually explain other parts, and that it repeats its teachings from all sorts of angles. On top of that, it says it's fully detailed and made easy to understand. Now, if you take those claims at face value, what's the logical next step? Well, you'd have to conclude that the text is its own best instruction manual, its own best commentary. Now let's see how this ancient practice gets a major upgrade. I mean, if the key is to cross-reference and find patterns within the text, how do you actually do that on a massive scale? Well, this is where AI comes into the picture, not as some kind of interpreter, but as an incredibly powerful research tool. Just think about it for a second. The Quran has over 6,000 verses. For any human reader, trying to track every single instance of a word or a theme and remembering its exact context each time is just a monumental, if not impossible task. Our brains just aren't built for that. Our memory's limited, and we're definitely going to miss some subtle patterns. An AI, on the other hand, can scan that entire text in seconds, no problem. It can pinpoint every single use of an Arabic root word, show you how it's used in different contexts, and map out the relationships between concepts. It totally overcomes the limits of human memory, and for the first time, it makes the text's internal network totally visible. So here's the crucial difference. A human has limited memory. The AI has instant recall. We cross-reference things slowly. It searches everything comprehensively. The AI isn't thinking for you. That's the key. It's just a data-gathering machine that lets you do the deep contemplation, but with a complete map of the territory right there in front of you. Okay, so you've got the text and you've got the tool. What are the rules of engagement? Well, that brings us to the 6 core principles that guide this entire study method. And they're all designed to do one thing: keep the focus strictly on the text itself. But before we get to the list, we really need to get this central concept, tadabbur. This Arabic term is at the absolute heart of the whole process. It's not just about reading, it's about deep personal reflection on what the verses mean and what guidance they offer for your life. The AI provides the data, the human performs the tadabbur. And here they are, the 6 principles. 1. View the book as a whole, as guidance. 2. Work only from the original Arabic text. 3. Let the Quran's own context define its terms. 4, and this is a big one, you've got to avoid all external sources, like commentaries or historical narratives. 5. Use classical dictionaries only as a last resort. And finally, 6. Write down what you understand in simple, clear English. So that's all the theory. Now for the fun part, the practical side. How does a study session using this method actually work? Let's walk through the steps. It all starts with a genuine question you have. The AI then goes and finds the relevant Arabic text. It analyzes its root words, and it cross-references them across the entire Quran. It helps you see patterns and pull all this data together into a coherent picture. But notice that final crucial step. That's all you. It's your contemplation, your tadabbur, on what this guidance means for your life. Of course, there are definitely some pitfalls you want to avoid. The key is to always treat the AI like a data retriever, not an interpreter. So you don't ask it to translate a verse. Instead, you ask for the word-by-word root meanings. Don't study a verse in isolation. Ask, where else does this concept show up? The rule is simple. Use the AI to gather the facts. But the final contemplation, that's always the human's job. This brings us to our last and maybe most important question. Why? What is the ultimate goal of studying the Quran this way? Well, according to the source material, it's not about winning arguments or just hoarding facts. It's about something much, much deeper. The whole purpose is really a three-step journey. It starts with tadabbur, that deep reflection we've been talking about. That leads to tadhkira, which is a kind of reminder that awakens your consciousness and can actually change your behavior. And finally, this all leads to hudan, practical guidance for how to live your life. It's a path from just information to real personal transformation. And this verse from the Quran seems to say it directly. The book was revealed so people could reflect on it and be reminded. The goal is embedded right there in the text, reflection and remembrance, which leads to a change in understanding and ultimately a change in how you act. And so we end with this question. Is this the start of a whole new chapter for how we engage with ancient texts? I mean, could combining a really strict, self-referencing method with powerful AI tools remove old barriers? Could it allow more people to engage directly with sacred scriptures, not just the Quran? It's a pretty fascinating thought to reflect on. Thanks for joining us.